Welcome to Alt Culture Weekend. My name is Noah, here with you on Alt 1017. We're going to be playing some new music. We're going to be playing some recent music. We're going to be talking about a bunch of different things. We're going to be talking about new movies. We're going to be talking about new music. We're going to be talking about the Super Bowl. We're going to be talking about live music coming here to Tuscaloosa. And there's a couple bands coming next week that I got to tell you about. I did an interview with one of them, so that's going to be coming up later in the show. So you're going to want to stick around for that. But we've got all sorts of great things. But first, let me get to one of the things that I teased. So last week, we talked about viral sounds of 2023. And I was like, there are so many. I was playing all of them. We were having fun. We were getting some giggles and things. And I was bemoaning the fact that there are so many good viral sounds of 2023. So many good quotes or song lyrics or whatever. And then 2024, it seems like we're having like a dry period, a dry spell. There seems to be no good viral sounds. And then you know what happened this week? Is I heard a sound, and it's been going around. I don't know if it's gonna have the longevity. I don't know if it's gonna have the staying power, but it's a sound that I've heard, and I was like, okay, this is a viral sound right here. Do you recognize this one?
You have been promoted. You are now one of my elite employees.
I think that is, as of this point, the newest viral sound of 2024, and it's the only one that I can think of up to this point that would even sort of fit in that category. So if you have any other thoughts, if you're like, no, here's one that's better, here's one, that one doesn't count, this one is good, or here's one you haven't thought of, be sure to send me a message on the Alt 1017 app, or you can message me on our Instagram, Alt 1017 FM. I'm going to be plugging that all night because we've got stuff that we've been posting. We got a link tree up there, so you can click all the different things that I'm going to be talking about tonight. But I also want to make sure to hit that this upcoming Monday, we're looking forward to the next week. This upcoming Monday is President's Day. This past week it was Valentine's Day. This upcoming Monday is President's Day. So I'm going to be talking a little bit to the show about, there's a link, a connection between singing about the presidents and rock music. So, addressing our presidents and sort of calling them out. So I'm going to be highlighting a couple of those throughout the show. And the big thing that we're here to talk about tonight, as always, is highlighting new music that maybe is a bit underground, it's a bit alt, that maybe you haven't heard of. Or maybe you're just overwhelmed with all the new music that's coming out, all the new stuff that you could listen to. You're like, what do I need to be listening to? Well, I've got a couple songs tonight that I want to hit you with, a couple albums. And the first one that I want to hit you with is this band Idols. Like IDLES, not idols like I'm bowing down and worshiping. Oh no! But I would bow down and worship this music because this is one of my favorite albums of the week. Though it's not the Gold Star album, I will keep you posted on that one. But Idols has this new album out. It's called Tank with a G in it. Tank. They're a British rock band, and you can kind of tell. I was listening to this album. I was like, are they British? I was like, okay, yeah, they are. So I think this is just like a pure rock album. You listen to it and you're like, okay, this is what rock sounds like. This is what pure British rock made by British rock guys sounds like. I mean, they align with it, but they're also having fun with it. They take something that may be a little straightforward. They could just be boring. They could be slow. They could be uninteresting. But then they switch it up a little bit. They don't just do all one thing or all one other thing. They're being loud, but they're being reflective. They're being crazy, but they also allow for introspection. They allow for some sort of melodies here on these songs. So there's a good variety across this album. If you're just into straight, pure rock, be sure to check out Tank by Idols. But the song that I want to highlight from them is Gift Horse. I love the vocals on this song. The drums are just right up in your face. We'll be back in a minute here on Alt Culture Weekend on Alt 1017. This is Alt Culture Weekend right here on Alt 1017. That was Idols with Gift Horse. So we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is movies. I want to hit something I talked about last week, is I was talking about some of my 10 most anticipated movies of the year. And one of them was one that came out last weekend, Lisa Frankenstein. I was like, I don't have any idea what this is about, but I just enjoyed the picture. I enjoyed the cover. I enjoyed the vibe, the colors. I was like, I don't know what this is going to be, but it looks interesting. And I went and I watched it, and I actually really enjoyed it. It was kind of it was an 80s throwback movie, and just the basic plot is just, it's like Lisa Frankenstein's the name of it. It's about this, like, think like Heathers or any one of those classic 80s movies, where 80s high school movies, and this girl who's kind of she's kind of an outcast a little bit. She's kind of a little bit of a strange person, and then she creates a new boyfriend for herself, or she finds a new boyfriend, which is an undead person come back to life who happens to be Cole Sprouse from Zack and Cody and Riverdale. She maybe starts to get a little crazy, get a little body snatching, and I don't know. It's just pure fun. I thought a lot of the some of the script writing I thought was a little, some lines didn't quite hit, but I thought a lot of it did. And it's a shame because the box office with movies kind of crashed with this new movie out, Lisa Frankenstein. It didn't do too hot, didn't do too well with people going to see it. But I think you should go see it if you enjoy just like a fun indie little movie, something different kind of go see. You should go check it out. Speaking of indie movies, I went and saw Fallen Leaves at the Bama Theater. It was a Finnish movie, so subtitles all the way down. So it's the day right before Valentine's Day, and it was, I think you would call it a romance movie. It was kind of, one of my friends described it as like a rom-com between people who have no riz, and I think that's pretty accurate. They were some of the most awkward people in the world. I guess that's just European people, if you know what I'm saying. Whoa! They were so cute together, even though they were so silly. And there is a dog. There is a dog in the movie. So if nothing else, maybe go check it out. But that was at the Bama Theater, limited time, one night only. And coming up at the Bama Theater this upcoming week, this upcoming Tuesday, they're gonna have the Oscar live action short. One short that you may be familiar with is The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. It was on Netflix. You may have seen some of those, the sort of Roald Dahl adaptations by Wes Anderson. That's going to be one of the ones that's playing. So if you want to see that on a big, giant screen instead of your just little laptop screen, hey, it's going to be this Tuesday at the Bama Theater. We got all the details on our Instagram. Click on the link in our bio. Just general, wide release stuff. We've got a couple movies that came out this week. Came out just in time for Valentine's Day. Is new Bob Marley biopic. I'm kind of interested to see that. I'm not... Biopics, I can go either way on. But if it's a music biopic, I'm like, especially if it's a musician that I haven't listened to that much, but I just know a couple of their songs, I'm like, well, let me go and just get introduced to some of their songs a little bit. That's kind of how I felt about the Mean Girls movie. I was like, I never heard these songs before, but let me just kind of go see them in an interesting way. So I might go check that out, and if I do, I'll have to let you know what I think. And but please, I'm begging you, don't make me go see the second movie that it has come out this past week. It's the one and only. It's the Madam Web movie. Oh, please. I don't want to see it. I've heard awful things about this movie. I've heard people say it's worse than Morbius. Last year's Jared Leto starring movie about a Spider-Man villain, and Spider-Man's not in the whole movie, but it's like Marvel adjacent. Superhero movies already seem to be kind of on a downturn. Then you come out with Madam Web, which is just like, oh, I hear no good things on it. I mean, this is in the promotional material. This is one of the iconic lines that came from like the trailer.
He was in the Amazon with my mom when she was researching spiders right before she died.
Oh goodness! What a line! Researching spiders right before she died. You may have seen that a little bit around about people clowning on that a little bit. And that's what people seem to be doing, is they're just clowning on these Spider-Man adjacent movies that they've been doing. The Venom movies did okay, but Madam, some of the other marketing is just goofy. Here's a video that I saw recently that made me scratch my head in confusion. Here.
So, while my character in the movie may be able to see the future, I also can. And I know what the future brings. I know that when you see Madam Web, you're going to love it. In fact, I think you're going to see it twice.
What? That's Dakota Johnson, the main character, promoting the movie. Let me just play that again.
So, while my character in the movie may be able to see the future,
okay,
I also can.
Okay.
And I know what the future brings.
Okay.
I know that when you see Madam Web, you're going to love it.
No.
In fact, I think you're going to see it twice.
No, what is that? What does that mean? What is she talking about? Well, all I can tell you is that this movie is no good. And, what is going on?
I think you're going to see it twice.
No, I'm not.
I think you're going to see it twice.
No, please, get away from me.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
You sure about that?
I think you're going to see it twice.
Stop, get out of here. So, anyway, I'm just having fun now. But, I have no hate for any of the people in Madam Web. I have no hate for any of the actors. I have no hate for any of the creators. But it's just, guys, I don't think this is the move. I don't think you're doing too hot right here. Please don't send me a message on the 117 app. please don't send me a message on the Alt 107 Instagram telling me to go see Madam Web, because I'm not going to. Don't tell me to go see it and then report back to you of whether you should go see it, because I just know without watching it that it's not going to be good. So please do not send me messages about that, because I don't want to see them. Let's get back to some of the music. Okay, this is my gold star album of the week, is this new Mother album. It's kind of like the music that's like tailored directly to what I enjoy. So there's a good amount of variety on this Mother album and the different type of sort of rock alt music that it does. I feel like you're going to find your new favorite song on this album. The vocals are very good, expressing emotion. I like how they have like two different lead vocalists that they go back and forth on some of the different songs and even on some of the songs together. Every song is doing something kind of interesting or cool or just like good. And I had a hard time picking a song to play for you, but I'm going to play this one song, Explode. I love the hard rock and the alt rock mix on this. Maybe a little choppy in my first run through, but as I kept listening to it, I was like, oh my goodness, this is such a great song. So I'm going to play you this Mother song. It's my gold star album of the week, and it's from their new album, Grief Chapter. So Grief Chapter, my Mother, here's their new song, Explode. Right here on Alt 1017, you are listening to Alt Culture Weekend. It was a Super Bowl this past weekend. Beyonce dropped new music this past weekend. Texas Hold'em, that song, and then 16 Carriages at in relation to the Super Bowl. She dropped it from space, is what the whole ad campaign says, which is like, I don't know about all of that. But speaking of music, because I wasn't paying attention to the game, I wasn't paying attention to the football, I was not paying attention to the pigskin or the plays. I was paying attention to the music. And talked a little bit last week, anticipating what was going to happen. I was looking forward to my boy Post Malone singing the national anthem at the Super Bowl. He said ahead of he played his guitar and he sang. And I thought he did a good job. He started off a little rough. I was like, okay, Post Malone, can you actually sing without autotune? But then he pulled through and he did amazing. And maybe it was all fake, but I like to believe. And I thought he did very well. He said, quote, "I'm very nervous but excited. I'm just going to do my best, and give what I got." He said that ahead of playing the performance, and I think he did give his best. I think he had a very good performance. I was watching it, and I was like, oh my goodness. I just rewatched it again recently, just a minute before the show, and I was like, oh wow, that's so pretty, so beautiful. And so that's Post Malone playing at the Super Bowl, but he wasn't the only one. I mean, Usher was the big name playing the halftime show. I thought he did a great job. I didn't realize that he got married while he was in Las Vegas. So he got married before the show. I was like, oh my goodness, that's crazy. And I was excited to see. I mean, Alicia Keys was sort of expected to be a featured guest for the halftime show, but then her came out and played the electric guitar. I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I see you. And so I thought her did a great job, and I was happy to see her there. What? Biggest question is, what were the memes from the Super Bowl? Were there any good memes? I thought I saw a couple that I thought were good. One was Travis Kelce yelling at the ref. That was one that I saw a couple good memes of. And the other one seemed to be, I think it was one of Jason Kelce talking to Ice Spice. So not anything super crazy. Love to see that Usher was on roller skates. I thought this halftime show, if anyone who says it was a bad halftime show, it was all I expected from a halftime show. He came out, he played a bunch of the songs. He played Yeah, which I was excited for. And then, and the people that I were with, we were like, when Yeah came on, we were like, oh yeah, as you do. He came out, he gave me a surprise. That's why I always like a fun surprises with the Super Bowl. You keep it going, you play the hits, and then you shock us. And I saw him on roller skates, and I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that. He's out here singing and rollerblading around. I mean, I do that in my free time, but I wasn't expecting Usher on the world stage to do it, and he did. So I'm very happy for that. So Super Bowl, somebody won the game. I don't remember who, but the music I thought was pretty good. And so I went back and watched it, and maybe you should too. I don't know, just an idea. So speaking of music, I got to get to our next artist, Serpent with Feet. I like to hit you with some variety on the show and not just do super straight rock, super straight alternative music, what you expect. I like to hit you with some variety. And this is my variety pick for the night, is the new Serpent with Feet album. And the name of it is Grip. So this sort of has some R&B, EDM stylings. The main singer, the guy, Serpent with Feet, has got a very sweet voice. It's mellifluous, as they say. And it's kind of like just like steamy love songs for gay guys, And we love to see it. So the song that I'm going to play for you tonight is Hummin' by Serpent with Feet. Well, stay tuned. Whenever we come back, I'm going to play my interview with a local band coming here to Tuscaloosa next week. So stay tuned for that. Don't go away.
We're not going to tell you how to live your life, but we are going to tell you to download the Alt 1017 app now.
Tuscaloosa's new alternative is Alt 1017.
Coming up in just a moment, we've got an interview that I did with Pigeons Playing Ping Pong, a band that's coming to Tuscaloosa next week on Wednesday. All the details will be in the interview in just a moment here. But before we get to that, it's President's Day is coming up on Monday. And, there's a lot of songs about presidents in the alt community, in the rock community, and most of them are not favorable. A lot of references to JFK, George Bush, like American Idiot, George W. Bush, that is. Then there's the whole NoFX's song Reagan Sucks with the line, guess what, nostalgia sucks, but I miss songs about Reagan sucks. So the alt community, the rock community, doesn't really like the presidents most often, is what I find. I talked to one of the members from Pigeons Playing Ping Pong, so here we go. It's Alt 1017, talking here with Ben Carey from Pigeons Playing Ping Pong, the bass player. I have to ask, as a bass player, your experience, any bass players that you look up to? I mean, like big names or just personal favorites that you look to for inspiration?
There's a lot of them. Well, the first one I grew up listening to, which informs a lot of my philosophy about bass, was Victor Wooten. My dad, thought it was just contemporary jazzy stuff, bluegrassy, listening to Bella Fleck and the Flecktones when I was growing up, 3, 5, 7, 9. But I'd hear what that amazing musician could do on bass and bring in rhythm as well as holding down the groove. And when I got older and picked up the bass for the first time, my friend who got me into bass also introduced me to the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And I said, oh, this also it does more than what I'm used to bass doing in popular music. And my friend Owen told me, now ever since I started playing bass, I listened to the bass more in music. And I started doing that and realizing bass can be supportive and just kind of follow the chord changes. But to me, it's for how it goes with me, what's the point of doing that when you can also add in kind of vivaciousness and a little bubbly, rhythm interplay while still holding it down? And that's the nice thread I like to weave in my playing. You have obviously Victor Wooten, you have Flea, Jocko is beyond. I would love to get to a point of being able to understand jazz and music theory to that level, and that's a constant desire and goal for me, is to keep honing in what I can do. And music is a never-ending fractal to explore.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe at some point you'll, or maybe up to this point, you've been a bassist that inspires other people, the next generation. Speaking of the next generation, one thing that I like to ask, so we're here in Tuscaloosa. This is a college town. There's like an endless amount of like bands and college bands. You said you guys started in college. What advice would you give to people who are maybe wanting to start or have started or in the early days of having their own rock bands, or what would you say to them?
Have fun. Do it for the right reasons. There's a lot of luck involved. There's a lot of work involved. If you're really trying to make it in this business, well, for me personally, I thought, don't have a plan B. Now, as we've gotten forward, it's like, well, I wonder if that would have been helpful to have options as I started family and this and that. But of course, we love what we do, so there's really no other option. But you can have a vision, you can have a dream, that whole like The Secret or, manifesting your reality. That's all well and good in general. This is life advice. This isn't just for rock band or whatever. Anything you want to do, that's important. But like we were talking about lasagna earlier, you can put all the layers together, you can put all the pieces inside of it. Until you put that in the oven and bake it, it is not edible. It's not something you want to eat. And putting it in an oven, that heating up what you're doing, that's hard work. That's putting in dedication, that's putting in time, that's putting in effort. And if it's something you love to do, you're enjoying the smells coming out of that lasagna and you're looking forward to eating it, and you're giving yourself that delayed gratification, and then you're able to serve it to other people. So, dream and dream, and then put your nose to the grindstone and work it. Awesome. Well, Ben, I appreciate the time that you've spent to talk to me. As we're wrapping up here, we're gonna be playing Day and Time for our audience here on the show today. So just real quick, any thoughts on Day and Time, your experience creating this song, recording this song for the upcoming album that's coming out in April? To quote our fearless frontman, Scrambled Greg, in this song, couldn't complain. It's so divine.
And we can catch you guys playing this song live on Wednesday, February 21st at the Druid City Music Hall. Can we hear this song?
Well, I'll tell you this. every show, pretty much up until the point we go on stage, we're moving around the song parts and figuring out what works, what doesn't. Every single show we play is unique. It's part of why we keep writing new songs. We now have so many songs that it's hard to get them all in. Again, classics that people want to hear, newer songs. When we're playing, we're in Florida right now doing a run, we try not to repeat songs. Occasionally it'll happen, but each show is unique. If you want to catch a song, you have to hit them all, come out on tour. You never know what it's going to be. What you do know is it's going to be an incredible time. You'll be part of the flock. You'll be with friends and family the moment you walk in that door, and it'll be exactly what you need.
Ben, where can they find you? Where can they find you online?
Pigeonsplayingpingpong.com. Tour dates, merch, flock into a city near you.
Sounds great. Well, Ben, thank you for your time. Now here is Day and Time from the new album coming out soon.